But Peter just wanted me to let everyone know how incredibly grateful he is to have you all here. And we know there's people from all around the world, and that's just so beautiful. So the meditation this evening as we join together will be, while the Ascended Masters are at this time at the retreat in the Royal Tetons in Wyoming. So like I had said earlier, my name is Victoria. I'm from Cape Cod, Mass, here in the States, and I've been a longtime student and friend of Peter's. He's helped me a lot in this journey, and so I'm so grateful to be here to co-host with him. I've had some wonderful experiences myself this year, lots of healing and teaching with Saint Germain and Violet Tara during some major life-saving surgery that I had. So it's an honor to be here, to be host.
Thank you, Victoria. That was wonderful. Well, thank you all for gathering here. I was saying so many people have asked to have a meeting now, and these have been very difficult times. So this is a very auspicious time of year. Starting around Thanksgiving, there was what was called the 7 Sacred Weeks began. And this is a time when the Ascended Masters are meeting in their retreat in the Tetons and sending out light to the world. And as we are students of the Masters, sometimes we get called to participate also. And this period of the 7 Sacred Weeks goes up through the first week in January. And it's a time when many of you feel an intensification of the light. Now, sometimes as that light intensifies, it brings up negative things to be dealt with. And many people have been writing me, phoning me, telling me of the ordeals they've been going through. And just try to remember that nothing is by accident, that we chose to be here on Earth at this time to go through these very situations. This is the cleansing of our karma, the learning of final lessons. It's the final exam in getting your master's degree. And I remember back in 1973, when I first met Saint Germain consciously and he materialized in front of me. I was in Muir Woods and he took me above the earth. And in that realm that he took me, the beings existed in the I Am Presence. That's the picture behind me of the I Am Presence. And that's actually what it looked like, that ball of light surrounded by rainbow colors. And that I Am Presence sends a tube of light down through many different frequencies until it enters the top of the head in the physical body and is anchored in the heart. But you are conscious also to varying degrees in these other bodies, like when the physical body sleeps at night, the light body goes out and can have experiences. So we can also journey to the Tetons in that light body. This is why sometimes when a friend phones you, you almost know, sometimes you know who it is before you look at the phone, because their light body, the person was thinking of you, the light body got there first, then the phone rang, you know. So when we think of our I Am Presence, the I Am Presence gets the message immediately. And the Ascended Masters get our message too. And we can send light out into the world to help everyone. So when I was up in the cosmic realm with the I Am Presence and with Saint Germain, I said to him, this is it. This is where I want to be. And he had told me that he would help me leave the earth if I wanted. And when I got there, it was so blissful. I said, this is it. Thank you. And then I started to hear this crying coming from someplace. and it was very annoying. And I looked down to see where it was coming from. And there was the earth beneath me, this little blue ball. And my heart just went out. And I said, oh, I want to go back and help. You know, it's like if you're a mother and your child is crying, you just want to rush to them and help them. But this was billions of children crying. So the suffering here is heard by the masters. They said, if we could cry, we would, for the suffering of humanity. And so I chose to remain in a physical body on the earth. And he sent me to Mt.Shasta for training. And I connected with Pearl Doris, and I wrote a book about her, a biography of her. And she was one of the most amazing beings I've ever met, that in addition to being a very enlightened being, she had the love quality, which is frequently missing from a lot of the patriarchal spiritual teachings that just focus on the mental aspect about being enlightened. I call it being enlivened. You have to have an enlightened heart as well as enlightened mind, and they need to work together. The ascended masters have both. So I met a number of yogis in the Himalayas who were very enlightened, but they were sort of a bit arrogant too. They didn't have the compassion. So this is one of the reasons we're here now. Some of you may have been yogis in a past life and achieved a high degree of oneness, but then when you left the body, you realized it was the love and compassion that you still needed to develop. Well, this is the schoolroom for that. We are definitely in it now. So one of the things that we can do every day is, instead of getting pulled into the earthly drama that you read about in the news, that is very hard to keep in your mind and remain cheerful, we can actually work on sending light out to the world, to people who need it. And that makes us feel better too. Sometimes that's simply going next door and helping the neighbor. It can be very simple. Or telling the person in the grocery store who bags your groceries, thank you, I really appreciate you. You have beautiful energy. Have a nice day. You brought a little bit of light into that person's life, and that makes you feel better. And every day we have the opportunity to do these little things, maybe to phone someone you haven't talked to in a long time. Just say, I've been thinking of you. Are you all right? If you need to talk, you can call me anytime. So as we are talking, I'm feeling the presence of the Ascended Masters. And it would be nice to join with them tonight in this sacred outpouring of light that is happening. My grandmother used to say, it is better to light a single candle than to curse the darkness. And you don't realize how powerful you are. Each of you is a God presence. And when you tune into that God flame in the center of your chest, it gets brighter. That's like lighting the candle or turning up the flame. And that goes out to help others, especially when you say, I am with it. I am the living light going out into the world. Or I am the goddess Violet Tara sending the violet fire out into the world. Or I am divine love. I am a being of divine love, sending my love out to bless wherever it is needed. Now, if we gather in a group like this, it's even a greater blessing. It amplifies it. We have now 100 people joining us tonight. And I will post this video on YouTube when it's edited, and then it will go out to even more people, and also on Facebook. And each person that watches it will send out light. So let us call on the Ascended Masters to be with us, and we ask to be with them. Beloved Great Divine Director, Lord Maha Chohan, Saint Germain, Lady Master Nada, Lady Master Pearl, Jesus, Mother Mary, we ask to be with you tonight in the retreat in the Royal Tetons. Now there's an expression, where your attention is, there you are. So you don't have to know exactly where the Tetons are. Some of you are calling in from South Korea, some from Africa. I don't need to send you a map to find the Tetons. Just these masters are guiding us there. They are taking us by the hand to that retreat in Wyoming, inside the great Royal Teton Mountain. Now I see before us, I see us sitting in a circle. Just follow this meditation. We are sitting in a circle, and in front of us is a crystal ball precipitated by the masters for this purpose. This will be a focal point of our meditation. And standing behind us in a circle are the Ascended Masters. They have brought us there to this retreat for this purpose, because they need also our request to interfere in the affairs of Earth. It's not interfering, actually, it's interceding, because they can only do so much without humanity asking for more help. So we are now asking the masters to help us render that service to humanity. So as we send a beam of light from our minds and a beam of love from our hearts to this crystal ball that is in the center of our group, we ask the masters to transmit that to humanity. You can say silently to yourself, I am the light of the world. I am the resurrection and the life of humanity. I am the great divine director of all the governments of the earth, now made manifest. I am the great white brotherhood, seizing all nuclear missiles and nuclear weapons and seeing to it that they do not function for any harmful purpose now. I am the healing presence going forth wherever needed, healing everyone of all mental, emotional, and physical problems in perfect divine order by the power of God, which I am. And I am divine love going forth into the hearts of all beings, even into the animal kingdom and the nature kingdom, so that all the elements of the earth are blessed. Let us sit silently now for the next 5 minutes or so, sending this light out into the world. If you have a personal question, you can ask the Ascended Masters, whichever one you choose. Say, beloved Master, please reveal to me what I need to know. I thank you. And this may not come in words, it may just come as an intuition, or it may just, the door may open for you to reveal the truth of what you seek. I am being shown what I need to know that will help me over the coming year by the power of God, which I am. I'm going to bring this meditation to a close now, but I would suggest that later on tonight, before you go to sleep, that you focus again on the Ascended Masters and ask for their guidance and blessing, and ask to be of service to the light. And just be aware over the coming week, you may get answers to things that is their reply to you. So I cannot welcome each of you, all 100 of you personally, but my heart goes out to you, the love is going to you. And I would also like to welcome Simon and Karen Fox, who have come up here to be with the Masters for a couple of weeks at this time. They've come up from Santa Barbara, and they have taken these teachings very seriously and about helping other people. And they have a nonprofit foundation in Santa Barbara called Adventures in Caring. And they are training young people to talk to other people, specifically elderly people who are shut in, how to bring joy and light into their lives and to check up on them periodically, which is wonderful. They also have trained many young medical students how to actually work with patients from a more compassionate point of view, how to go into hospitals and communicate in a loving way with patients. And they're very well known in the Santa Barbara area. Just know that you're making a difference, and it's very important. What I find especially helpful is like during the course of the day, you become aware, you start to feel negative energy from different things. Like it could be from watching the news, or someone tells you something, or you hear something bad. And after a while, you start feeling depressed. Well, you have to realize, I am not that. Like, let's say there's some problem with your car. Okay, I'm going to have the car fixed, but I am not the car. Go back into the center of your being. I am the presence of God. I am unlimited consciousness. I am not what happened in that news story. I am not some irritating person, maybe my boss. That boss is out there, but I don't have to identify with that person. Dwell in the center of your being and feel that God presence. I am that. These are the instructions that Buddha gave. This was the 1-minute course that Buddha gave to someone. Buddha was walking around making his rounds, and this guy came up to him and said, look, I'm on my way to work. I don't really have time to sit at your feet for 3 years. Can you give me a concise instruction in achieving enlightenment? And Buddha said, basically, let go of your thoughts, your emotions, let go of the objects you're attached to, and be right in the present moment. At this moment, I feel good. None of those things exist. All those things will come and go, but I am will live forever. The I am consciousness, that I am, it is eternal. This entire universe will eventually dissolve and go into a higher frequency. But I am still here. And that consciousness, that I am, is in you also, and is in the ascended masters. Again, it's like we're all molecules of salt in the ocean, in the same ocean of consciousness, and we all affect each other. So let us affect each other for good and send out more love and compassion into the world.
Peter, there's a few questions that have popped up.
Okay.
One is, Carola would like to know how to overcome long-term grief.
That's a very good question. Again, you have to realize we all chose to be here in this drama, and things are not happening accidentally, even though it seems that way. So whatever led to that grief was a part of a scene in the movie, and it has a lesson in it. And if it involves a person who is no longer in your life, you will again be with that person in a higher plane. Or whatever it is that happened, people did their best that they could do at that time. And we need to let go of it and send a violet flame to it to dissolve it, and blaze the violet flame through yourself. Imagine you're in a pillar of violet light, like in the painting behind me, there's a tube of violet light. So as you meditate, you are generating that violet light, especially if you say, I am Tara of violet fire, I am the purity God desires. And try to identify with that rather than the grief. And then you realize also there are many other people on earth feeling the same grief as you. And send your heart out to them. By trying to heal them, you are healing yourself.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
Another question, I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, Bethlehem. Their question is for the beloved Ascended Masters. They would like to know who I can work with this year for my continued growth.
First of all, you work with your beloved I Am Presence, which is with you all the time. And that is what all the masters want, is for you to become more connected with your own God presence. But there may be a particular master who is like your teacher over the coming year. So you could go within and say, dear God, please show me who it is I should call on, who is working with me, who is my teacher, and bring me into contact with them. I am coming into contact with my divine teachers. In full awareness. Oh, that's powerful. And it will come to you in time. All of us have a teacher, or many teachers, but we don't need to see them every day. They are aware of you. We're all in an ashram of one of the 7 Chohans, one of the 7 Chohans of the rays. We are, all of us, in one of their ashrams, but they know what we're working on. It's like we're in the schoolroom and they know where we are and they know the lessons we're working on. And they are there to, to light our path, but we don't need to see like the dean of the college every day. He's keeping tabs on us. Okay.
And there's another question that popped up for you, Peter. Charles would like to know, how can we best help heal our animal friends, domestic and wild?
That's great. Some friends of mine here have a cat that started going blind, and they asked me to pray, and they both prayed for it. And they took it to the vet, and the vet said basically, well, it's an old cat. It's natural for them. You know, the cat has some kidney problems. It's just, you know, you can't do anything for it, basically. But they refused to accept that, and they did energy work on it. You know, the cat would lie there. They put their hands up on the cat's eyes and on the kidneys. And, you know, for about a week or two, they did a lot of prayers. And I prayed also and sent the violet flame into the cat. And that cat can see almost perfectly now. And the vet was amazed. Yeah.
That is amazing, Peter. And we have Camille has her hand raised. So
I just want to thank you, Peter. I don't know, I'm remembering you from quite a long time ago, and what you've been sharing tonight is a precious refresher. I'm practicing a lot of what you have shared. I've read all the books that I'm aware of that you've written, and I've shared them with my daughter and other people. And I feel that all that you've been doing all these years obviously is assisting so many of us to tune into that I am presence that you're so in tune with, and that I feel has blessed my life continuingly. So I just want to pour out my heart of gratitude for the immense work that you have been doing. And
Well,
thank you for
thank you,
Pearl's
Camille.
biography. Thank you for that wonderful biography. That was so healing for me to read. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Camille. That means a lot to me. And I have 12 books out now. The latest one is called I Am the Key to Mastery. And there are, I believe, about 12 different forms of meditation in there. You can almost open the book anywhere. It's a small book. I don't know if I have it here even. It's a little book that kind of summarizes the various paths of meditation leading to mastery. I'd say the most classic book, the most unique book is Apprentice to the Masters. And that's part of the 2-volume series, Adventures of a Western Mystic. And that talks about how I met Saint Germain and all the lessons I had to go through.
It's a wonderful book.
I find that kind of entertaining. So.
Yeah, it's marvelous. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille.
And if we have time, Peter, another question popped up.
Okay.
I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. It's Yashana. She typed, after having big changes in my life, I feel like I've been in the unknown for the past year or so, not knowing what's happening next. What is your advice on what I need to do to start having clarity moving forward?
I think what we did tonight will help you move forward. And now that it's the end of the year, this is the perfect time to let go of the past and say, I am dissolving and consuming by the power of God, which I am, all things which have held me back, letting them go, dissolving them in the violet fire, moving forward into the new year, a wholly free, perfect, masterful being. And I would say, I have a book of affirmations. I think it's called I Am Affirmations and the Secret of Their Effective Use. And if you read even a few of those affirmations every morning, every evening before you go to bed, it changes your aura, because the mind just kind of starts going on its own, thinking in negative or even in habitual cycles. But when you do those affirmations, it stops the mind in its tracks and shifts it to a different track, to a positive track, So when you find you've been acting habitually in a certain way, it's good that you even observe that. But in meditation, you just observe, why do I act that way? Where does that habitual action come from? And how can I act differently? Like, see it in a movie, like you're the director of a movie and you are going to play that scene differently. That person who irritates you, you're going to meet them tomorrow. How will I react differently to them than I have in the past? And
Peter, there's another question from
where
Catherine.
the I Am affirmations come in, to really make the effort to change, Yeah. Victoria?
Sorry about that. Catherine's question is, she writes here, my journey with my mother has been turbulent, but ended in compassion and forgiveness with the help of Kuan Yin. That turbulence is repeated in my relationship with my adopted daughter. What may we know of our role in healing this type of dynamic, not just for ourselves, but anyone who has suffered from it?
Well, as you deal with this situation, you will become a master healer who knows how to heal that particular situation and be able to help others. You find that these kind of situations emerge, and it's all for our edification, for our enlightenment, for our mastery, the key is not to go in a cave or go on retreat and shut it out, but to embrace the situation. And again, I recommend this Vipassana meditation where you just start out observing the breath, and that calms the mind down. And when a thought comes up, you just label it thought and let it go, or emotion, let it go. And just realize there's somebody observing these thoughts and emotions, and try to identify with that consciousness. I am the observer who is beyond thought and emotion. Now, I am being shown why that situation has come up in my life and how I can heal it. And gradually you'll get insight into that. But acknowledge that it's there in your life for a reason. It's teaching you something. It's expanding your heart, making you a greater being in the long run. And again, you will be able to help others in the same situation. Good. Well, I just want to say I love you all, and I feel your love. And I will pray for you all that you have a wonderful year ahead, that all the problems from the past year are dissolved, and you go forth on a highway of light, surrounded in love for 2023. May the masters be with you always. Good night, everybody.